Looking for that winter wonderland or that Christmas fairy tale? Well, that is why Alsace, France should be on your travel bucket list. Since the pandemic, we hadn't been back to Europe, so I was so excited to finally be able to get back and hit the Christmas markets. But I quickly realized when trying to figure out where to go that having to get COVID tested for every country, it was going to get really messy and costly real quick. I knew we were missing Paris, and it was one of our Christmas market favorites. So I decided that we would stay in France, and finally this year, we could get to my bucket list market, Strasbourg, a city known as the capital of Christmas. What I didn't realize is that the entire Alsace region, or now called Grand Est region, is the most decorated region for Christmas that you could ever visit. We said goodbye to JFK Airport and then good morning to Paris, landing at Charles de Gaulle Airport. At the airport, to clear customs, we needed a negative PCR COVID test within 72 hours of entry, as well as a declaration stating that we were COVID symptom-free. Once clearing customs, we headed to the pharmacy inside the airport to pay about €30 each to digitize our vaccination cards. That way, we could obtain the French Sanitaire Pass by getting a QR code for the app, which we would need to show to get inside everywhere in France, including the Christmas markets. From there, we grabbed a taxi and headed for the Gare de l'Est, which is the train station on the eastern side of Paris. Now, one thing you should know is that you always get a taxi from a taxi line, not from someone who approaches you, because otherwise you will fully be taken advantage of. And from Charles de Gaulle to Paris, it's a flat rate between 50 and €60, depending on which side you're going to. Once at the Gare de l'Est, we just needed a seat assignment for a TGV train because I had already bought Euro passes for a flat rate because it was more cost efficient. And then we could just decide which train we were taking by using the app and not having to stress about being somewhere at a certain time. Now, Charles de Gaulle does have a TGV station, but not as many trains to Strasbourg go through it. So for more options, it was best to head to the Gare de l'Est station. Most trains are direct to Strasbourg, and it takes about 2 hours to get there via TGV. Strasbourg, a city of rich history with its Franco-German roots, is also the capital of the Alsace region. Now, the Alsace region is known for its Christmas markets, so Strasbourg makes for a great location or home base because it is in close proximity to many other of those fairy tale village Alsace Christmas markets. One thing you need to know about the Grand Ile area of Strasbourg is that the Grand Ile is entirely pedestrian during the opening hours of the Christmas market. So starting at 11 a.m., it is not possible to park in the old town during this time, nor get a taxi. So if you're coming or going during this time, you will have to walk. It's about a 12-minute walk to the city center from the train station. And since the Grand Ile is technically an island, as you cross the bridge, if you have bags, they will be checked by security before entering the island. We stayed in the heart of the city at the Maison Rouge, which was part of the Marriott and one of the Autograph Collection hotels. It was super cute inside. I'll put a link in the description if you're interested. And then we were out to explore. Next door to the hotel was a department store, Galeries Lafayette, which is one of my favorite department stores and always amazingly decorated for Christmas. And then across the street at Place Kleber, or Place Kleber as the French put it, was our first Christmas market. At Place Kleber, standing at over 30 meters tall, the large Christmas tree reigns supreme over the Christmas market. It is a major and instantly recognizable symbol of Strasbourg, capital of Christmas. Also, this Christmas tree is the largest Christmas tree in all of Europe. At that market, we grabbed our first mulled wine, or vinchard, and had some local Alsace food, a French pizza and a tarte flambée. Now, there's a reason why Strasbourg is the capital of Christmas, and one of the best Christmas market experiences you will find in Europe. Created in 1570, the Strasbourg Christmas Market is the oldest Christmas market in France. For 4 weeks, the spirit of Christmas and the Advent period in the heart of the city burst into life with its Christmas markets. And then, starting December 27th, the Advent village becomes the After village, keeping the holiday magic alive to finish out the season. With small wooden houses, fir forest, chalets, lights and decorations everywhere, the whole city is transformed into this enchanted setting. The facades and streets sparkle and twinkle and are just amazingly decked out. From teddy bear top facades to shops, windows, and balconies full of ornaments, as well as Santas and reindeer. From the magnificent cathedral to the city's most beautiful squares, Strasbourg is simply an incredible way to celebrate the holidays. There are, give or take, at times 11 to 12 markets spread out across the town, the Grande Ile. So the Strasbourg Christmas Market is big, with multiple locations. So you definitely want to plan at least one night in Strasbourg if you want to get the most out of it. And I would say that weekends are really busy, so weekdays are best, because Strasbourg generally has about 3 million visitors that take in the markets over the few weeks that it's open, which also means that it's best to book your accommodations in advance. The Christmas Market at Place Broglie is the oldest and most historic Christmas market in Strasbourg. And while there are tons of shopping stalls in this market had the most diverse food and gift stalls of any market. So make sure that you definitely check it out. Over by the Palais Rohan, you'll find 2 other markets that cater to the Alsace region and known for their tasty local products and Alsace delicacies. And just a quick tip, it's also a great place for a nice sunset. One other region for a great sunset is La Petite France. In this historic region, you'll find beautiful timbered houses, a cute little market right off the river, and in Square Louise Weiss, the Village of Advent, a warm and friendly space that hosts exhibitions, creative workshops, as well as dance, theater, and concert performances for the month. We loved La Petite France so much that we ate dinner twice in that area, but I would suggest making a reservation. The first at Le Bake-Off de Alsace and the second at Au Pont Saint-Martin. both serving classic Alsace cuisine. I'll list them in the description. As far as Christmas markets go, you'll find that there are different themes for all of the markets all across Strasbourg. If you're around on a Saturday morning, make sure that you hit the local market and flea market, where you'll find antiques, local produce, meats, cheeses, and of course the famous Alsace wine, perfect for food shopping for Christmas. Other unique markets include the International Christmas Market at Place Gutenberg, the Children's Village, which is the small Christmas market at Place St. Thomas. I mean, there's just so much to see and take in. Now, specifically during the week, because of crowds, we hit up another popular Christmas destination, Colmar. In what feels like a Christmas theme park, Colmar does it like no one else. If you're visiting France in December, a stop to this medieval fairy tale town is a must. Colmar, one of the most well-known Christmas markets in the Alsace region of eastern France, is a true Christmas wonderland. With its intimate feel of cobbled streets and half-timbered houses, Christmas lights and decorations, stalls and wooden chalets, it's very easy to get swept up in the Christmas magic. Colmar has 6 Christmas markets, all easily accessible by walking from the Colmar train station. It's about a 15-minute walk. We started in the neighborhood of Petite Venice, or Little Venice area. This area is made up of canals, bridges, and narrow streets with romantic Christmas decor. In the Little Venice neighborhood, you'll also find the Christmas market for kids. The streets of Colmar were just picturesque. From Strasbourg, it's about a 30-minute train ride. From Paris, on the TGV, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes. And from Lyon, it's 3 hours and 30 minutes. On the weekends, there are Christmas market buses that go from one market to another, but again, they get super busy. The last destination in the Alsace region that we hit up was Riquewihr. Now, Riquewihr is a fairy tale medieval village, colorful half-timber buildings that look like gingerbread houses, and ramparts that date all the way back to the 13th century. This is Riquewihr. Riquewihr, considered one of the most beautiful villages in France, is a small town in the Alsace region of eastern France. The town is right off the Alsace wine route, and it sits right in the heart of the Alsace vineyards. Riquewihr has one Christmas market, called the Traditional Christmas Market, which you'll find as soon as you enter the village. And we thought they had some interesting things, especially compared to some of the bigger markets, such as Strasbourg or Colmar. But the main attraction was really the picturesque village itself. From the town hall up the cobble street to the dolder 13th century medieval gate, the village just had a magical ambience. From alleyways decked out in Christmas lights and decorations to storefronts studded with garland, lights, Christmas decorations, and tons of teddy bears. Now, the market itself is only open on select weekends, so it does get busy, and they do check your French health sanitaire pass prior to letting you in to make sure that you're vaccinated, just like other markets. But the Riquewihr market and village are definitely worth the trip. And just so you know, there is another cute village with a Christmas market that's very close to Riquewihr called Riquewihr, but their market and line just to get in was crazy. So unfortunately, we had to skip it because we were also on a time crunch due to the bus schedule and limited buses that day from the train station. So there are a few ways to get to Riquewihr, but my suggestion would be the train and via bus, depending on where you're coming from, because parking is limited and stretched down the street for miles. On the weekends, there is an Alsace Christmas Market bus that runs through several of the markets, which makes it easy for travelers, but they do get pretty packed. We were staying in Strasbourg, so we took the train to Selstadt, which was about 20 minutes, and then took this beautiful 30-minute bus ride through several small vineyard towns, including Riquewihr, to get to Riquewihr. I thought the bus ride itself was amazing, so I would definitely recommend it. If you were coming from the Colmar train station, it's about a 10-minute train ride, and you would also get off at the Selstadt station. Colmar is about 9 miles or 15 kilometers from Riquewihr. But it doesn't matter how you get to Riquewihr, this fairy tale-like atmosphere is worth the trip. And just a quick note on Selstadt, it is known for the first Christmas tree and does have a unique exhibition on Christmas trees there, as well as a Christmas market sometimes. But everything was closed there on Sunday when we went through. So if you're looking for that Christmas fairy tale, you want to definitely make sure that the Alsace region of France is on your December bucket list. If you've been to the Alsace region for Christmas, I'd love to hear about your experience in the comments. See you next time!